Alright, first off, has anyone checked out Jack Black's new YouTube channel? I mean, like, damn, 3 million subscribers in 3 weeks? Can we do that? Please? Anyway, what's up, guys? It's me, that other bland, faceless person who makes video essays on YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about something that has become extremely important in the film industry. One might refer to it as the god of film. This is the all-powerful, almighty ruler of movies, which has extended its control to even the greatest of blockbuster flicks. In fact, this god of films is no film at all. Yeah, that's right. I'm talking about a group of red spherical fruits that have been left in the fridge for too long. Rotten Tomatoes! Rotten Tomatoes is a company that has increasingly grown in power over the years. It's a hub for movie critics that takes an aggregate of critic reviews to essentially determine whether a movie is fresh or rotten, with a percentage. Big percentage equal good movie. Small percentage equal poopy movie. And that little numerical percentage has become more and more important to filmgoers, to the extent that for some people it's now the basis on which we go spend our money on movies or not. I mean, I'm guilty of it. Like, look at M. Night Shyamalan's Glass. It just came out. That was on my list of most anticipated movies of 2019. Then Rotten Tomatoes shit on it, and now I'm kind of like, just wait until it comes out on Netflix, I guess. I even just did a video very recently on the movie Bumblebee, which has a fantastic Rotten Tomatoes score, and it's an absolute pile of feces. So where am I going with this? Well, what I'm trying to say is, we should loosen up our reliance on Rotten Tomatoes as consumers. Some people are saying that Rotten Tomatoes is taking money from movie production companies to make their scores higher, which probably isn't true right now, but definitely could be in the near future. And whether or not this is true, I think we need to dethrone Rotten Tomatoes, because it shouldn't be the end-all be-all on how the quality of a film is determined. I mean, there's this crazy thing that I found. It's called my opinion, and it's actually pretty cool if you use it independently and don't allow it to be swayed by big corporations. It's like big companies are telling us what's good and what's bad, and we're kind of starting to listen to them. So how do I make this into a video? Well, I'm going to be talking about times that Rotten Tomatoes has gotten it wrong, because I think it's a flawed system. I've compiled a list of movies that are either underrated or overrated by Rotten Tomatoes. I'm going to keep it short and mostly stick to fairly recent movies, because Rotten Tomatoes is bigger now than ever. Also, I want to make it clear now that this is all based on my opinion, so don't verbally mutilate me for disagreeing with you. Okay, let's do it. Here are 10 movies that Rotten Tomatoes has gotten wrong. Number 10. The Amazing Spider-Man, 72%. Moody rebel Peter Parker who rides a skateboard in the hallways and doesn't look like he should be in high school? Yeah, I think I'll pass. With a shitty villain and a failed attempt to restart an origin that everyone knows by this point, it just kinda sucked. I mean, everyone could agree that the second one was garbage because of its more blatant flaws, but every line of dialogue in this first movie felt like it was coming from a corporation, not from real characters. That's lame. My score? I'd give it a 50%. Number 9. Ace Ventura, Pet Detective, and Ace Ventura, When Nature Calls. Okay, probably weird movie choices for this list. Maybe I've got a soft spot for Jim Carrey, but these movies are fucking hilarious. These Rotten Tomatoes scores just show me that critics have no sense of humor. Like, just because they're wacky comedies doesn't mean you have to shit on them, especially when the jokes actually land. I mean, a 45 and a 33 are pretty brutal. I'd probably give the first one a 78, and the second one a 70. Number 8, Avatar, 82%. Alright, shoot me, but this movie sucks. Like, it's held in such high praise. Okay, the special effects are great, but it's got the most bland and unoriginal storyline. Just because you can dazzle me with special effects doesn't mean that your movie is good. My score? 60%. Number 7. 2001: A Space Odyssey. 93%. Okay, I know film students are all quaking in their pants right now. 2001 is a pioneer film. There's no denying it. But I personally don't think this movie should have such a high score. This is definitely an instance where it's just my opinion. So you can get mad, get furious if you want. But this movie bored me out of my mind. OMG, screen topic, you just don't get it. No, I get it. I thought my TV was broken when I sat down and watched 35 fucking minutes of a black screen. But that's just because I don't get it, right? I'm being too harsh. Although I'll give this movie a pass for being so revolutionary for its time, It's probably the most boring film I've ever seen. You know, this one's not even that big a deal. Like, I get why it has such a high score. I just don't like it. My score? Let's give it a 75. No, you know what? Let's give it a 65. Just to get people mad. Number 6. Interstellar. 71%. Interstellar is a Christopher Nolan film, so it's objectively good. This is just a case where I think it should have a much higher score. Interstellar confused and bewildered me on my first watch, but I just recently watched it a second time, and it brought me to tears. This movie is fantastic. I firmly believe that. Great acting all around, one of the best scores in film history, and really powerful directing. I'd give it a 94% minimum. Number 5. Finding Dory. 94%. Yeah, f*** off. This movie doesn't deserve a 94. It doesn't deserve an 84. It's one of the most clear instances of a production company opting to make a story for the purpose of money, rather than the purpose of creating something original and fun. Yeah, it's harmless, but it shouldn't have been made. Number 4. Incredibles 2. 94%. Whoa, would you look at that? Another Pixar sequel. Hey, Pixar! Stop making sequels. Like Finding Dory, now I have to associate this movie with the first one, which sucks, because I don't like this movie. And I think that the first Incredibles movie is one of the greatest animated movies of all time. I made a video about Incredibles 2 that kind of passively critiqued it, but I don't think I made it clear enough. This movie was a severe disappointment for me, especially since it took 14 years to make. Even just the subtle change in voice actors made me pretty upset. Like, why not just have it take place 14 years after the first one? This movie felt weird and out of place, and it clearly targeted small children because of how much screen time Jack got. They should have pulled a Toy Story 3 and had us grow up with the movie. Would have added some emotional weight to it, or something. My score? 75. Number 3. Forrest Gump. 72%. I mean, this one's pretty obvious. Forrest Gump? I mean, come on, don't do Forrest like that. This movie was an epic. And even though it was a tad too long, it's a classic. Some people actually consider this one of the greatest movies of all time, so a 72%, that's a bit rough. My score, a 95%. Number 2, Black Panther, 97%. Okay, controversy time. I'll add a small preface for this movie. I believe that the impact of Black Panther is pretty legendary. It's really fantastic what this movie has done for movie culture and society as a whole. I think this movie is the face of a movement that is long overdue in cinema, and I'm glad it made so much money. I love Marvel movies, but this one was way too overrated. I think the praise should have been directed towards the film's impact, not the actual quality of the film. This movie's pretty good, but the greatest movie of all time? No, sorry, just no. My score, 85%. And number 1, Star Wars: The Last Jedi, 91%. Okay, I promised myself I wouldn't get triggered when talking about this movie. I'm never even gonna make a separate video about this movie because I honestly feel like every point has been brought to the table already. Yes, this movie is garbage. I felt a pain in my heart after seeing this movie. And yet, coming out of the theater, there was a small part of me, this artificial consumer conformist part, that said to myself, no, that movie was pretty good, right? Because all around me, I was looking at the positive reviews of this movie. I'm sure there are text messages of me somewhere talking to my friend on the way out of the theater about how I actually enjoyed The Last Jedi. But that's changed. I've decided to use my opinion. In this case, critics are undoubtedly wrong. This movie is a failed social justice poopy garbage stupid pile of poop. I keep going back to watch it to find something that will redeem this movie. And yeah, there's actually some pretty cool moments, like the big fight with the guards and Yoda and the lightspeed thingy scene, but they're not enough. I hate this movie. I hate what it stands for, and I hate what it's done to Star Wars. This movie made me appreciate and love the prequels, which is a sign enough that it's trash. My score, 55%. Alright, so that's it. Rotten Tomatoes is a cool concept, and a lot of the time it works, but we should not allow it to control our movie viewing experience. This list was based on my opinion, something that we as a population should definitely use more. Everyone's got one, and I'd love to hear yours. Be sure to go ahead and leave a comment, and if you like this video, maybe go check out my other videos, and maybe leave a like here or there, and maybe subscribe if you want. I mean, you don't have to, but you should.